I stood before the mirror of my mind and saw no glass, only vision, and what I saw was not of this world. It was not bound by fact, nor shackled by circumstance. It was truth unspoken by lips, yet thunderous in conviction. I saw myself, not as I had been, nor even as I was, but as I chose to be. And in that silent chamber of thought I learned the secret most never hear. The world moves not by effort, but by feeling. I have said it before, and I will say it again until it echoes in the marrow of your bones. You must feel yourself into the situation of your answered prayer. This is the secret. This is the golden key. Not action, not struggle, feeling. The world you walk through is but a shadow cast by your inward state. The mirror doesn't change unless the face before it does. And that face is not altered by soap and water, but by feeling the truth of what you desire as though it already is. Let us not play at magic. Let us not wish, beg, or plead. That is the way of those who have not awakened to the divine spark within. I do not chase my dreams, I summon them. I do not wait for signs, I create them. I feel the end as real, and the bridge builds itself beneath my feet. You see, feeling is the secret, not because it is emotional, but because it is creative. Imagination without feeling is like a lamp with no oil, useless. The feeling gives it power, life, and substance. You must learn how to feel your desire as though it were the very air you breathe, not as an outsider hoping, but as the indweller knowing. A change of feeling is a change of destiny. This is no poetic flourish. This is the law of consciousness. If you feel poor, you will remain poor no matter how much you pray for riches. If you feel unloved, you will repel love even while chasing it with all your might. To feel it, to truly feel it, is to become it. I do not speak of pretending. I speak of dwelling. I speak of entering the house of your desire and living there. Do not stand at the doorstep hoping to be invited in. Walk in, sit down, and breathe the scent of your fulfilled wish. Hear the voices that would speak to you if it were already done. See the world through the eyes of one for whom the miracle has already occurred. For I promise you, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and continue feeling that it is fulfilled until that which you feel objectifies itself. You are not called to fight the facts of life. You are called to transcend them. I have known men crippled in body, yet leaping in spirit, and soon their limbs followed. I have known the bankrupt who closed their eyes and walked through palaces in imagination, and the riches came. Why? Because they felt it. And they felt it not once, not briefly, but persistently and faithfully. You are the operant power. That means the world waits for you. Not your effort, not your striving, but your inner decree made real by feeling. Let me take you to the garden of your imagination. Let us build something divine there. Let us walk not as beggars, but as creators. Let us not wait for signs in the sky, but instead become the sign. When I say to feel it, I mean to abandon the senses. I mean to close the outer eyes and open the inner ones. I mean to leave the visible for the invisible and trust that the invisible is the womb of all reality. Do not ask how it will come. Do not interfere with the sacred machinery. Do not tug at the roots while the seed is germinating. You are called to one thing only: live in the end. I repeat, live in the end. Feel it, believe it, know it. Let the world catch up to you, for it always does. Have I not told you? If this principle is true, and it is true, then imagining creates reality. I must be wherever I am in imagination. So where are you dwelling now? Are you living in lack, in loss, in longing? Or have you gone ahead in consciousness and prepared the banquet table for the life you know is yours? When I speak of feeling, I speak not of emotion, but of identity. What you feel to be true of yourself becomes the clay from which your future is molded. The hands of fate are your own assumptions. The sculptor is your attention. The furnace is your feeling. I once stood in the corridor of doubt, unsure if what I imagined could truly take form. But then I felt it, deeply, completely. I knew it. And the world began to bend. Doors opened without keys. People I had never met showed up as though summoned. Circumstances shifted like pieces on a divine chessboard, all moving toward the image I had claimed within. You will not need to explain this to others. Your results will do that for you. You will not need to convince the world. Your world will change, and they will ask how you did it. And you will smile, for you will know, I did it by feeling. To those who still doubt, I say this: try it. Test it. Not for one day, but for 30. Not in bursts, but with devotion. Take a desire and clothe it in the garment of assumption. Walk in it, sleep in it, speak from it. And see what becomes of you. For as surely as night follows day, you will see the outer match the inner. Feeling a state produces that state. The part you play on the world's stage is determined by your conception of yourself. So cast yourself wisely. Take the leading role. Do not write yourself as the victim when you were born the victor. And if ever you feel doubt creep in, remind yourself that the greatest men and women in history were not reacting to life. They were authoring it. They felt themselves to be kings long before they were crowned. They walked like giants long before the world saw their height. They spoke from power long before power bowed to them. You are not here to seek approval or validation. You are here to create. And creation begins and ends with feeling. Not words, not rituals, feeling. The world will respond not to what you say, but to what you are. And what you are is determined by what you feel to be true. So I ask you now, not to think, but to feel. Not to analyze, but to assume. Not to wish, but to know. Step into the life you desire and wear it like skin. Let it become more familiar to you than the past. Let it replace every memory that says you cannot. Feel yourself into the life already won. See yourself not becoming, but being. And do it again tomorrow, and again the day after that. And when the world changes, and it will, you will not be surprised. You will only smile and say quietly to yourself, I knew it, I felt it, and that was enough. And when the storm of doubt rolls in, when appearances dare to contradict your assumption, that is the proving ground of the soul. That is where the great ones are separated from the many, not by talent, not by circumstance, but by their stubborn refusal to feel anything other than what they choose. Do you recall the words I once uttered in sheer conviction? I said, when you know what you want, you don't discuss it. You don't beg for it. You don't plead. You simply assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and walk in that assumption. That is the secret most ignore. They think that imagining alone is the act, but it is not mere imagination that moves mountains. It is feeling, clothed in imagination, alive and breathing, that stirs the unseen into form. You can imagine a palace and remain poor. You can imagine love and remain lonely. Why? Because imagination without feeling is a shell, a shadow, an echo that never reaches the depth where creation begins. The Creator didn't say, let there be, in cold logic. The spark was divine passion, unshakable conviction, the warmth of knowing. Creation is emotion molded into reality. So I ask you, what are you feeling now? Not what do you hope to one day have? Not what do you want to escape? But what are you claiming emotionally in this very moment? For that emotion is your prayer. That inner tone is the incantation, and the world is responding to it with perfect precision. Many cry out for change, but refuse to feel differently. They wait for the evidence before they rejoice. They say, show me proof, and then I will believe. But I say, believe first, and the proof will come rushing in like a river unblocked. You must dare to assume you are what you want to be, I have said, and you must remain faithful to that assumption. Not for a moment, not for a week, but as your unshakable identity until the world is forced to mirror it. Thomas Edison did not wait for the world to say he could invent the light. He felt the solution in the dark, and his feeling brought forth a filament that would illuminate history. Lincoln, amid defeat, wore the feeling of destiny like armor. He was told he was unworthy, unfit, unelectable, and yet he felt himself president before the world knew his name. That is the feeling that moves nations, topples empires, and raises monuments where once there were fields. You do not need more time. You do not need more resources. You need only the audacity to feel your desire as already fulfilled, to wear it in the silence of your mind, to walk in its light while the world still sleeps. Because to feel it, truly feel it, is to make it so. I will teach you how to feel it, I once said, because if you can feel it, you can claim it, and if you can claim it, you will receive it. There is no other law. The body may seem unchanged. The bank account may remain still. The world may appear to mock your assumption, but the inner feeling is the seed, and once planted, the harvest is inevitable. But hear me well, you must protect that seed. You must guard your inner feeling like a flame in the wind. Do not let the cold logic of men extinguish it. Do not let the facts of the five senses uproot your vision. You must feel it when it seems foolish. You must feel it when it seems impossible. That is the price of mastery. The master walks by inner sight, not outer circumstances. The master speaks in the language of feeling, not in words alone. And that is what I now offer you, not a technique, not a ritual, but a return to your original power, the power to feel your world into being. Stop chasing shadows. Stop pursuing symbols. You are not here to pursue. You are here to assume, to claim, to feel, and to stand still while the tides of life bend to your conviction. The drama of life is psychological, I once told you, and the whole of it is lived in your mind. The mind is the stage. The feeling is the actor. The assumption is the script. And the world is the audience, waiting for your cue, your decision, your emotional decree. So what do you decree now? Do you decree lack or do you decree abundance? Do you decree rejection or do you decree love? Do you decree delay or do you decree it is done? Whatever you feel consistently, that is your decree. And the universe bows in silence before it. I tell you now, stop rehearsing the unwanted. Stop feeling what you do not wish to continue. You are not a prisoner to the past. You are the author of the moment. And in this moment, you may write a new fate, not with effort, but with feeling. I once said, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption. That is the alpha and omega of creation. That is the law. That is the root and the fruit. Feel it, and it is yours. Not tomorrow, not one day. Now do not ask how it will come. Do not demand the means or the messenger. Feel it, and the means will reveal itself in ways you never dreamed possible. For the world is clay, and your feeling is the sculptor's hand. So take up that power now. Claim what is yours, not with words, but with the vibration of certainty. Close your eyes. Feel the life you desire. Live in it. Walk in it. Speak from it. Let that become your only reality, and the outer world will fall into line like stars obeying the pull of gravity. And when the doubts rise, as they will, do not argue with them. Do not wrestle the waves. Simply return to the feeling, the quiet knowing that you are what you desire to be. Say to yourself, I will teach myself how to feel it until feeling becomes knowing and knowing becomes my world. You do not need to do more. You only need to feel more purely, more vividly, more faithfully, for the feeling is the prayer. The feeling is the act. The feeling is the key, and the feeling is the father of the fact. And now, beloved soul, listen closely, because this is the part no one tells you. This is the Holy of Holies, the place where the veil is torn and your true self steps forward. You are the operant power. You have always been. There is no God outside of you moving pieces on a chessboard of fate. You are the cause. You are the motion behind every movement, the thought behind every form, the dream behind every dawn. And the world is the mirror, a divine echo repeating what you have dared to feel as true. No ritual is greater than this. no temple more sacred than your own imagination. You don't need to do more. You don't need to wait. What you need is to feel it now, fully, as if no other truth existed, because in that holy instant, when you feel your wish fulfilled with unwavering conviction, time bows, reality bends, and what was once invisible becomes visible. That is the secret kings and mystics have whispered through the ages. That is the key buried in Scripture, veiled in parable, hidden in plain sight. And now it is yours, not to admire, not to contemplate, but to use, because there is nothing more spiritual, more godlike than the one who boldly assumes their dream as already done, who walks through the fire of contradiction, feeling only the rain of fulfillment. Let others doubt, let them fear, let them measure life by appearances. You will measure by feeling, because feeling is the foundation of all things. Feeling is your ark through the flood, your rod that parts the sea, your stone that slays the giant. You don't need to see the door. You only need to feel that you are already inside. You don't need to wait for the call. You only need to feel that you've already been chosen. You don't need the world's permission, for you are the world's creator. Feel it, and it must come to pass. That which you persist in feeling, with sincerity and fire, with repetition and reverence, becomes the law of your life. It hardens into fact like clay in a kiln. The money, the love, the healing, the freedom. It's not separate from you. It's already within you, vibrating in the unseen, waiting only for one thing, for you to feel it real. And so I say to you now, not as a teacher, not as a philosopher, but as the echo of your own soul, I will teach you how to feel it, not with words, but with living proof. I will teach you how to rise when the world expects you to fall, how to walk like royalty in rooms that once made you shrink, how to smile when the world says panic, how to feel rich when the account is low, how to feel loved when you're alone, how to feel healed when the pain screams louder than hope, because when you feel it, truly feel it, something shifts. The universe doesn't just listen, it obeys. The cells in your body respond. The people in your life adjust. The opportunities rearrange themselves because you've moved, not geographically, but spiritually. And your feeling is your passport. So carry it well. Hold it like fire in your chest. And don't you dare put it down for anyone or anything. Not until what you feel inwardly becomes what you see outwardly. And even then, feel more, expand, elevate, become, because this is not the end of manifestation. This is the beginning of mastery, the beginning of a life where you do not chase, strive, or hope, but a life where you feel, assume, and receive, where you walk as a god in a garden of your own making, where the impossible becomes predictable, where the miraculous becomes your baseline, where manifestation becomes second nature, because you are no longer trying to attract your desires. You are living as the one who already has them. And the world must comply. So now, I leave you with one final instruction, not to remember, but to embody. Feel it now. Feel it as real. Feel it as done. Feel it as yours. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, because now is the only time creation ever listens. Now is the only moment that shapes the future. Now is the gateway to everything you've ever wanted. So breathe deep, close your eyes, and feel it real. Then rise, walk, and do not look back. And so I leave you with this. Go within, not as a casual visitor, but as the ruler of your realm. When the world outside tells you no, say yes within. When the bank account whispers lack, feel wealth within. When the mirror reflects limitation, see glory within. This is not delusion, this is divine law. The world will catch up to your feeling. It must. And when it does, you will not be surprised. You will not say, I can't believe this happened. You will say, of course, I felt it, I knew it, I lived it before it ever came. That is the difference between the conscious creator and the dreamer who waits. You no longer wait. You assume. You move in consciousness. You feel it real. And when you do this faithfully daily, with the authority of one who knows their power, the world reshapes itself like soft wax around the heat of your imagination. Do not ask, how will it come? Do not ask, when will it happen? Your only job is to move into the state of the wish fulfilled and remain there, not as a beggar, not as a skeptic, but as a being who knows that imagination is the only reality. This is not positive thinking. This is creation. This is not hope. This is law. So walk in the assumption now. Speak as though it's already yours. Feel as though it's already done. And do not explain yourself to anyone. For those who walk by faith do not owe the world an explanation. They walk in silence. They walk in certainty. And the world, though slow to recognize, must eventually kneel to what you've dared to feel as true. So go. Assume it now. Feel it now. Live it now. Because you are not becoming, you already are. Do not speak to the part of you that doubts. I speak to the eternal you, the one who knows, the one who remembers, the one who has always known that life bends not to effort, not to toil, but to the direction of the inner voice. You were never meant to live on the crust of things. You were never meant to settle for echoes when the source was always within you. You are the center, the spark, the genesis of every movement in your world. And I tell you now, you are not here to beg reality to treat you better. You are here to command it, lovingly, faithfully, boldly, through feeling. Do you not see? All things respond to your inner conviction. If you dare to feel abundance, the world must produce its shadow in dollars. If you dare to feel love, the world must reflect it in human form. If you dare to feel healing, your body must conform. There is no power on earth greater than the one who feels the truth before it is seen. I once said, you are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it. Feel this. Let it sink past your intellect and into your spirit. Your refusal to believe, your hesitancy to assume, is the only reason why it hasn't materialized yet. The moment you give up the argument with reality and instead embrace your imagination as fact, that is the moment the shift occurs. So stop checking the mirror to see if your face has changed. Stop checking the field to see if the seed has broken ground. Feel it and stay there. To be conscious of being rich and to live as though you were is to be rich. Do you understand? Consciousness is the only substance, the only real thing. Everything else is made from it, shaped like clay by the potter's hands. And you, my friend, are that potter. No man or woman comes into your life uninvited. No condition clings to you without your unconscious permission. And just as you unknowingly built the life around you, you can now deliberately build anew. Through this sacred power of inner feeling, you rise beyond fate, beyond karma, beyond time itself, because imagination transcends sequence. What you feel now compresses time. What you feel now pulls the outcome to you, like the moon pulls the tide. So do not worry about when. Feel it now, and now will bring it to pass. The outer world does not initiate. It echoes. It reverberates back the tone you set within, like a tuning fork vibrating through every circumstance, every face, every so-called coincidence. You felt it. And it came. You will feel it, and it will come. There is no variance in this law. Every empire built by man began as a silent blueprint, not on parchment, but in consciousness. The great pyramids, the cathedrals, the cities that touch the clouds, all of them were felt before they were seen. Do you imagine that Carnegie, that Edison, that Ford waited for permission from the world before they believed? Number. They summoned a world that did not exist by feeling as though it did. I say to you now, you are no different. There is no man born of woman more powerful than the one who learns how to feel deliberately. The world is a mirror, forever reflecting what you are doing within yourself. So the man who feels wealth walks into a room and wealth bends toward him. The woman who feels chosen steps into the street and recognition follows her like a shadow, not because of their name, not because of luck, but because they felt it first. Can you walk in the heat of summer and feel the chill of winter? Can you stand in lack and feel abundance? Can you be alone and feel adored? That is the test. That is the secret men ignore while they toil for crumbs. Your circumstances mean nothing. They are smoke and mist, illusion solidified. What matters is the invisible garment you wear within, the cloak of assumption stitched together by thought and sealed with feeling. Wear it long enough, and your world must tailor itself to match it, not by force, not by begging, but by divine compulsion. The unseen hand will move people, places, and events to align with your feeling. Why? Because the world is not something out there. It is an extension of you, an echo of your interior. As I said, feeling is the secret, not the words of the mouth, but the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You may speak all day of prosperity, but if inwardly you feel fear, fear is the true prayer, and your life will be shaped not by what you say, but by what you feel to be true. So become still. Withdraw from the noise of appearances. Turn your attention inward and feel. This is not fantasy. This is creation. You are not wishing. You are remembering who you are. The moment you feel it deeply, vividly, unshakably, the door opens, the bridge is built, and the world must cross over to meet you. There is a moment in every transformation where the world seems deaf, unmoved, even hostile. You will say, I feel the wish fulfilled, yet nothing has changed. But I tell you, the change has already happened. It is done. You are not waiting for the world. The world is catching up to your inner conviction, just as a star born in the silence of space sends its light across galaxies before the eye beholds it. So too does your assumption send its command through the invisible, and only in time will your senses see the reflection. Do not measure your progress with the yardstick of the world. Do not ask, where is it? Ask instead, am I feeling it? All transformation begins with an intense, burning desire to be transformed. You must be willing to leave behind the man you were, the identity you once clung to. If you desire to be loved, feel the warm embrace before you are touched. If you desire abundance, walk with the rhythm of a soul who has never feared lack. If you desire freedom, taste the air of liberation while the cell door is still locked. This is not delusion. This is divine imagining, the act of God in man. Do you not realize? Your own wonderful human imagination is God, not a God in the sky, not a being far removed, but the one within you who creates all and does so through feeling. When you feel it, you fuse with it. You no longer seek it, you become it. And what you become, the world must reflect. It has no choice. This is the law behind all laws. It does not care whether your desire is noble or mundane. It only asks, what are you feeling right now? And that is what you shall receive again and again until you awaken. To feel a thing intensely and then rest confidently that it is to awaken the God within. You must rest in the Sabbath of fulfilled desire, not in struggle, not in striving, but in the deep knowing that it is so. No matter the outer noise, no matter the delay, you must persist in the assumption, not because the world needs convincing, but because you are shaping the world with your conviction. All things conform to the nature of your inner speech. Your moods are prophets. Your feelings are builders. What you persist in feeling, you compel into form. You see, I am not giving you advice. I am giving you power. Use it, and the kingdom shall be yours. The world is not pushed from without. It is pulled from within. This is the great secret men have denied for centuries, not because it was hidden, but because it was too simple to be believed. They seek formulas, systems, and signs. But I tell you, the kingdom of heaven is within you, and its key is feeling. The world is a mirror, forever reflecting what you are doing within yourself. Look closely. Your life is not random, it is precise. Every face you meet, every challenge you face, every dollar in your pocket, or lack thereof, was summoned by what you dared to feel as true. You are not the victim of life, you are the dreamer of it. And if the dream displeases you, do not fight the shadow. Change the light within. Change the image you carry. Feel a new scene. Feel it in such depth that it seizes your senses and commands your belief. And then let it go. Not in desperation, but in confidence. This is the highest form of prayer. Not words, not pleading, but feeling the wish fulfilled and knowing it is already yours. As you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you shift the very fibers of your being. The old self begins to dissolve, and the new self, born of the assumption, begins to take dominion. You will walk differently. You will speak with a new rhythm, not because you tried to, but because you changed your state, and your state determines your fate. This is not philosophy, it is law. What you feel yourself to be, you become. What you dare to feel as real, you give permission to enter your world. So why wait? Why linger in shadows? You were not born to react, you were born to create. Close your eyes now and feel. Feel as though the miracle has already happened. Do not wait for reason to agree. Reason is a servant, not a master. Feeling is the master. And when you master the art of feeling, you master the art of creation. This is what I came to teach. This is what I now give you. You must dare to assume that you are what you want to be and remain faithful to that assumption, not until the world confirms it, but until your soul knows it. Faith is loyalty to unseen reality. Faith is persistence in the assumption. And when you persist, the unseen becomes seen, the imagined becomes fact, the dream becomes flesh, not by magic, but by law. You are the cause, you are the key, you are the operant power. There is nothing to earn, nothing to chase, nothing to prove, only something to feel and become. You have traveled through the labyrinth of your own mind, stripped illusion from truth, and found at last the seed of creation buried in the silence of your own soul. Now, hear me. There is no power outside of you that shapes your world, no fate, no fortune, no deity in the clouds determining your end. The world and all that it contains bows before the one who dares to feel their desire as already fulfilled. I did not come to teach theories. I came to awaken the God in you, the God that feels creation into being, the God that assumes the highest and watches the world conform, the God that imagines boldly, knowing that imagination is not idle, it is divine. Dare to believe in the reality of your assumption and watch the world play its part to confirm it. You will not always see how the bridge of incidents will unfold. You do not need to. Your only work is to feel clearly, boldly, consistently, as though it is already so, and in time the world rearranges. Like iron shavings to a hidden magnet, everything bends toward your dominant feeling. This is not fantasy. This is law. You are the operant power, and you must now operate. You must now choose, not with your hands, but with your consciousness. Choose the state. Choose the scene, choose the end, and dwell in that end until it becomes more real than the world around you. Feeling is the secret. If this assumption persists until it becomes your dominant feeling, the attainment of your ideal is inevitable. So go now, not with questions, but with conviction. Walk in the assumption of your wish fulfilled. Do not look behind. Do not seek validation. You have planted the seed. You have watered it with belief. You have honored it with stillness. Now let it grow.